So after the deployment has been done, or our landing zone has been deployed, we have a look at the virtual machines that we have created. I can't connect to the domain controller directly. I have to do it via the jump host. So this is what I'm doing. I'm connecting to the jump host because it has a public IP address, and I'm just doing a normal RDP logon, downloading the client from Azure. And now I'm using the credentials that I specified when running the previous pipeline, which is AVD admin on my system and the password that I gave the system. However, I'd like to jump in or log on as domain admin. So I need to specify the domain because the jump host is domain joined, but where to find the domain which was deployed. This is something that you can change, and it's because it's in your variable files. And in my case, it's I'm starting out with contoso.local. So the NetBIOS name for this stuff is Contoso. And if everything worked out correctly, then this credentials should work. Yay. Looks good. So let's have a look at this box. It has been domain joined. You see the domain on top. It already has some tools installed, like the domain administration tools, which is quite handy because you don't need to hop on to the domain controller. You can do this stuff from your jump host. And here we have the domain. Here's the jump host. Here's the domain controller. And then I created an organizational unit, which is called Azure Virtual Desktop. It contains some sub OUs and some demo user accounts that you could use later on in your proof of concept. And by the way, these user accounts have the same password as your domain admin, so you may want to change this. So now let's have a look on the domain controller. And from the jump host, you can do a further hop to your internal domain controller. And the next thing that we need to do is synchronize the user accounts that have been created in that domain with our Azure Active Directory, because Azure Virtual Desktop needs these user accounts in Azure Virtual Desktop, in your Azure Active Directory. And the way to do it is, for example, using the AD Connect tool, which is a executable that brings a couple of services with it. And with that, you can establish the syncing of a local domain controller with your Azure Active Directory. I downloaded the tool already for you on the C drive. It's in the temp directory. You just need to launch it, install the stuff, and go through the Express settings. If you want to do some customizations, feel free to go there. However, for time's sake, I'll only demonstrate the Express settings. And now you need to log on to your Azure Active Directory as global administrator, right? If you are not the global administrator, ask the one that can do that because he needs to establish the sync. Now you need to log on to your domain as the domain admin, because some accounts will be created that will do the sync. As we are using .local domains, which are not officially supported, I would say, or not the best way to sync these accounts, we have to sort of check, enable the checkbox that we still want to do that. However, if you are using a different domain, you could do so. It's just then, not producing that kind of error. So now we have a look into our Azure Active Directory for the users. Now we only have one account. After some seconds, there will be that synchronization account, and even after some couple of minutes, we will have some user accounts. So here they are. A couple of minutes later, you'll see that our Azure Virtual Desktop user accounts that I created demo-wise are now synced into our Azure Active Directory, and they are ready to use. We also have some groups being generated. The Azure Virtual Desktop Users group is the one that is coming from on-premise. You see that here. If you look on the right-hand side from the source, it says coming from a Windows Server Active Directory. And now we can tick the action item for doing the Active Directory sync. We can now set that to closed, because these are the tasks that we just did.